Welcome to Elixim. My name's Florian, and I look forward to assisting you this evening. I have a couple of guests to attend to first, but I promise I'll be with you shortly. Thank you for your patience, Miss Pearson. When you visited at high noon, the apothecary was filled with dozens of guests demanding their remedies. Due to the number of people in here, I was overwhelmed to say the least. Nevertheless, I sincerely apologize for the delay. I have the correct items for you now. Here is your wrapped package, complete with everything you'll need. Inside, you will find 2 remedies for your headaches. When they are relatively mild, take a handful of the enclosed mustard seeds and the leaves of the root plant, crush them together, and add enough water to create a thick paste. Spread the paste on your head and let it rest until the pain disappears. I've also included a small bottle of mandrake oil for the occasions when your headaches are exceedingly painful. Place 2 drops of oil on your forehead and rub it thoroughly into the skin. The oil does induce drowsiness, so you should notice improvement to your sleeping patterns as well. Yes, it's perfectly fine if you cannot remember these instructions. That's why I wrote all the information on a piece of parchment. It's already tucked inside of your package. You are most welcome. Is there anything else I can assist you with? No? Very well then. Due to today's delay, I'll only ask you for 3 shillings. Yes, I'm quite certain. I am truly sorry that you are required to wait. Lowering the cost is the least I can do. It's not a bother at all. My only wish is for you to feel better. Thank you for the payment. Please, come see me in a week to inform me of your well-being, alright? Yes, I do worry too much. You should know by now that I always follow up with my guests to ensure my remedies are suitable. If anything needs to be adjusted, I will gladly do so. Of course, that's what I'm here for. If you do not require any more assistance, then I shall bid you good evening. Have a safe journey home. Do not look so glum, Mr. Ashdown. I certainly have not forgotten about you. I appreciate that you were able to drop by this evening as well. Inside your package is a large vial filled with a concoction that should heal your persistent cough. The concoction is a thick, syrup-like texture, and it contains lungwort leaves suspended in water, with traces of honey, butter, cumin, anise, and licorice. Drink this twice a day. Once at sunrise, and the other at sunset. If your coughing spasms worsen at any point, I suggest chewing on a radish root. Indeed, I have included enough radish root to last you a week. It's my pleasure. How's your wife, by the way? Is her pregnancy coming along well? Oh, the poor woman. I'm terribly sorry to hear that she's still suffering from nausea. I was afraid of that, given how ill she was when I saw her last. That's why I enclosed a bundle of mint leaves and ginger root at no additional cost. You should take both ingredients, crush them, and mix them with warm water. Have her drink that when she's feeling nauseous, and it should help settle the discomfort in her abdomen. The gratitude's appreciated, but really, I'm happy to help. Of course, anything for you. Are you all right then, or would you care for more assistance? You're perfectly content. Splendid. If that will be all, then I kindly ask for 4 shillings, please. Thank you. Please, give Mrs. Ashdown my best. I wish the 2 of you and your little one many safe and healthy days ahead. My apologies for the wait. How can I assist? Oh, It's you. Goodness, I did not expect to see you here. No, you're always welcome here at Elixim. This place is just as available to you as any other villager. What I meant was, well, I never anticipated that we would meet under these conditions. When you stepped inside, I was so distracted that I didn't even notice who you were. How foolish of me, considering your crimson cloak should have revealed your identity. No one else could wear it with the same elegance that you do, nor could they create something as masterful. You are, by far, the most talented and kindest tailor that Mystic Haven has ever had. For everything that you've done for this village, you deserve to be greeted with respect and tenderness, but I was too careless. I'm deeply sorry. Could you find it in your heart to ever forgive me? Your hand is resting softly against my cheek, and your eyes are staring into mine. May I ask why? This was the only way you could think to draw my attention and prevent me from spiraling further into a fit of nerves. Forgive me, I tend to ramble when I'm nervous. It's an awful habit, I know, but one I can't seem to break. Yes, you make me nervous, but it's not because you're touching me. If you're concerned whether your actions are improper, you have nothing to fear. I welcome your touch, truly. However, I'm afraid that your proximity is having an unsteadying effect on me. Could you please take a step back to allow me to think clearly? Thank you. Please do not take this as a form of rejection. I do want you near me. In fact, it's something I yearn for. But my mind, which endlessly cycles with information, suddenly becomes blank, and I cannot form coherent thoughts when you're this close. If I wish to appear even vaguely sane, then there must be a little bit of distance. You did hear that correctly, yes. I do not understand this phenomenon, nor can I explain it. Though if I were to be completely truthful, I would say that I was mesmerized by you long before this meeting. How long, you ask? Do you remember the day that you explored Mystic Haven with my brother, Cassian? You do recall that day. That's good. Well, I'm not certain if you're aware, but I saw you walking around, your bright cloak visible in the muted sea of colors. Even though I spend most of my day inside the apothecary, I occasionally check on my guests who cannot leave their homes to visit me. While I was out, I noticed you spoke with the villagers. You were thoughtful and compassionate, always eager to learn about everyone's trade and their lives at home. It was your warmth that drew each person in, myself included. For the first time, my heart began racing at the speed that would rival my horse when he decides he wants to run. I wanted to desperately make your acquaintance, but I could not. A town some meters away requested my assistance, as they did not have an apothecarist to provide the necessary remedies for a few individuals who had fallen ill. Selfishly, I wanted to stay in Mystic Haven, at least until we could meet, but my duty was far greater than my desires. Therefore, I took my horse and left. Believe me, I'm aware that it has been more than a fortnight since that day. You're wondering why I haven't approached you since. That's a fair question. The truthful answer is that I simply could not. Every time I tried to visit you and bid you good morning or evening, my stomach would tie itself in knots. Not even my most calming remedy could alleviate the tension. It remained, clinging to me, so much that it prevented me from moving forward. Instead, I always fled, knowing that if I approached you, I would likely fumble with my words and leave you with a horrible impression of myself. Unlike my brother, I have no natural ability to woo or charm others, and unlike my sister, I am not forthright. I am just a man who seeks solace in his plants and flowers and uses those items to treat the ailments of others. Surely you would have not found me the least bit interesting, so I thought it'd be best if I kept to myself. After all, admiring from afar often leads to less heartache. Oh dear, your cheeks have suddenly flushed. You're biting your lower lip, and you cannot seem to meet my gaze. Are you all right? Are you certain? You know that you're inside of an apothecary, yes? Whatever your affliction may be, I'm confident that I can find a remedy for you. Pardon? Your voice was so quiet that I couldn't understand what you were saying. Could you say it once more, please? Oh, you thought about approaching me yourself, but for similar reasons, decided not to. Please tell me you're being truthful. I do not think my heart could handle it if you were jesting. You're not jesting. You were just as eager to meet me, but every time you tried, you were frozen in place. Afraid of ruining our first meeting? All this time, we could have been in each other's company, and yet we were both so fearful of what the other would think that we stayed away. What a shame, given every missed opportunity. You're right. We are here now, and that's all that matters. Although, I must say that you deserve the credit. You were the one who was brave enough to break this cycle. May I ask why? Why did you decide to visit me this evening? Ah, Cassian delivered my latest arrangement of flowers? And that was enough for you to gather your courage and travel across the village to see me? I'm delighted that the arrangement was to your liking. Admittedly, I was worried because I'd never done anything of that caliber before. At least not for anyone to see. Lately, I've been experimenting with particular flowers to learn more about their unique properties. One day, I discovered that I could alter the petal color of orchids if I placed the dye directly into the stem. Orchids that grow naturally tend to be white or in shades of pink, yellow, and purple. While those are beautiful on their own, I wanted something far more vibrant. To achieve the shade of scarlet that I did, I used berries and rose petals that injected the dye into the stem. I thought that scarlet was the most appropriate color, given how well you take to those rich red hues. You're smiling. By the heavens, it's a smile so bright that it can illuminate the entire village in the darkness. I have seen that lovely smile directed at others, but never at me. May I ask what I could have done to have earned such a marvelous thing? You find it endearing when I speak about my craft. Moreover, you're touched that I thought to create something specific for you. Of course I would. It's you. You would like to know what I mean by that? Goodness, how do I even begin? I suppose it would be easiest to start with the most obvious thing, which is how brilliantly you've shined since your arrival. I cannot go anywhere without hearing the villagers sing your praises, or seeing your creations modeled on various people. Beyond your talent, you have won the affections of both my brother and sister. They are good judges of character, and they think the world of you. As if that wasn't enough, I have seen with my own eyes how pure of heart you are. Why, just the other day, you gave a precious gift to Mary. As you know, Her family struggles financially, so they cannot afford well-tailored clothes. But after seeing her run around the village, you took a liking to her and created something that was perfectly suited to her needs. I noticed that she left your shop with the giddiest look on her face, wearing her new sapphire cloak. Given all these things, how could someone not lavish their time and attention on you? They would be a fool not to. Rather, I would be a fool not to. The truth is, I may not be able to articulate my feelings with words or chivalrous actions, but I do know how to communicate through the plants and flowers that I adore. I hope that does not make you think less of me. No? If anything, that makes you think more highly of me? I thank you. I'm surprised, but I'm also relieved to hear you say that. Speaking of flower arrangements, did you find each one agreeable? Cassian and Griselda both confirmed that they had been delivered, but when I begged them to provide detailed explanations regarding your reactions, they only gave me coy smiles. You found each one of them breathtaking. Really? Thank heavens. I sincerely hoped that you would like them, though I was never certain. The flowers that were used in the arrangements were selected with purpose. While they were all physically appealing, the more pressing matter was what each one signified. Oh, you would like to know the meaning behind each flower? Are you certain? Some of the meanings are rather, affectionate. That's why I never included a letter. If I told you what each flower signified, surely you would have thought me mad or foolish. I appreciate that you would never think that of me. However, the significance of each flower was meant to be my own secret. It was a way for me to reveal my thoughts and feelings without anyone ever truly knowing. But, now that you're standing here with pleading eyes, well, how could I deny you? I would be willing to share the information, though it'd be easier to show you rather than tell you. Would you, like to see where I keep my collection of plants and flowers? You would? Wonderful. Please, give me a moment to change the sign on the door. I do not think the villagers would mind if I closed a bit early this evening. Most already visited at noon, so I expect few people will wander in at this hour. Hello there. I was wondering where you scampered off to. My apologies for not introducing you earlier to my feline companion. This is Shadow. Yes, I gave her that name because she follows me around like one. Most of my guests have grown accustomed to her presence. If some find that they're allergic, then I keep her in a safe area away from them. Yes, you may pet her. She's perfectly friendly. She's fond of most individuals, but she seems quite taken with you. More so than I've ever seen her, actually. Of course, you may visit her as often as you would like. She would certainly appreciate it. I'm afraid I'm not always the best company. When I'm in the middle of assisting someone, it can be quite difficult to pull away. At times, she will whine incessantly at me, begging for attention, which I am unable to give her during those moments. I think I could watch you interact with Shadow all evening long. But may I ask if you'd still like to proceed? Yes? Very well then. The room's just up ahead. You stay here, Shadow. allow me a few moments with our guest, would you? No, we will not be visiting that room on the left. No one is allowed in there, for good reason. Please, don't be alarmed. That is simply where my toxic specimens are housed. No, I can assure you that I do not create poisonous concoctions used to harm individuals. Though I do have an extensive knowledge of how they're made and administered. I've learned all the necessary information while I was an apprentice. The reason why I have a room dedicated to plants, such as hemlock, belladonna, and henbane, is because I've been working for years to find a cure for the illness that afflicted my parents. I assume that Cassian told you the story. Precisely. They perished because the physician and I could not find a cure. We searched endlessly, and still we had no answers. I have never forgiven myself for such a mistake. So I will do everything in my power to prevent it from happening again. No one should have to suffer the way that my siblings and I did. That's why I spend every spare moment locked in that room, experimenting and looking for what may have caused their illness. I am determined to find a cure, even if that means I may be harmed in the process. Yes, some harm has already befallen me. That's why the skin on my hands is marred. While I wear a mask to protect myself against any deadly fumes, I do not have a pair of gloves that will prevent contact with the plants. Most gloves are too thick and would not allow me to complete the delicate, refined work that is necessary for my experimentation. You believe that you could create a pair of gloves for me that would protect my hands and allow me the ability to experiment? Are you certain? I do not know what to say. I would never ask you to do such a thing, but if you are offering, all I can say is thank you. Thank you. From the deepest parts of my soul. I struggle to even think of how I could repay you for your generous actions. As long as I continue to create flower arrangements for you, you will be satisfied? I would be more than happy to continue doing that. While we're on the subject, we have now arrived at the appropriate door. Welcome to my favorite part of Elixim. Truthfully, I sometimes hide in this room when I need a moment to collect myself. The things in here bring me such comfort. Would you like a tour? Of course. We will begin right here. These are the lavender and mint plants, and they are what I used for your first arrangement. When Cassian told me that you had difficulty sleeping during the first few nights at Mystic Haven, I sent him along with a bundle of lavender and mint so you could place them beneath your pillow. The soothing aromas were supposed to gently lull you into a peaceful slumber. Beyond its healing properties, gifting lavender to someone means that you're devoted to them. Gifting mint, on the other hand, means that you wish to bring warmth upon them. I told you that some of these symbolic meanings can be tender and emotional. Are you truly certain that you would like to know what they are? I suppose your radiant smile is answer enough. Let us carry on then. The second arrangement involved 3 flowers: forget-me-nots, lilies, and roses. Right here are the forget-me-nots, which signify that the giver respects the recipient. Do you see the white lilies with the yellow interiors that are next to them? When those are gifted, it indicates that the recipient is pure of heart. And finally, we have the roses. They are, of course, the most recognized flower, both for their beauty and their significance. On your right, you will find peach ones. When they are gifted, it means the giver is sincere in their appreciation for the recipient. Light pink roses indicate admiration, You appear a little dazed. Are you all right? Oh, you're simply overwhelmed by my, explanations. A good overwhelmed? Or a bad one? A good one. I'm relieved to hear that. There is one more flower that I'd like to show you. Follow me. As you can see, I grow each type of orchid here. Even though roses are viewed as the most romantic flower, I believe that orchids are much more fascinating. Their symbolic meaning is ardent affection. But beyond that, they're known to be one of the most resilient flowers in the world. They can bloom in the harshest, most troubling conditions, and that is why I chose this one for you. Like these orchids, you've survived a cruel situation and have thrived in a new area. The endurance and spirit that must have taken is remarkable. You are remarkable. Why are you moving closer? You know that I cannot form clear thoughts when you're this close to me. For once, you would like me to just feel rather than think? All right. Will you guide me? Thank you. You're resting your forehead against mine now? Yes, this is all right. Yes. Place your lips against mine, please. Did we just kiss? No, you have nothing to be sorry for. I enjoyed it, truly. What we shared was perfect in every way. I understand that people who kiss generally find one another attractive on some level. But I need to ask you, what does this mean? Do you have affections for me in the same way that I have for you? Goodness, I do not know how to process this information. Are you absolutely certain? It's me who you have affections for, and not somebody else? Not my brother, or my sister, or another villager? You want me? You have just made me the happiest man in the world. May I ask how long you felt this way? You have yearned for me since the day you explored Mystic Haven. You glanced inside the apothecary while the window was open, and saw how I assisted others. Your heart knew then that I was the one for you. It seems that we are truly a well-matched pair. As giddy as I am, I must warn you that I do not have any experience with this. I've never felt this way about anyone before, and truthfully, I cannot guarantee that this will be natural or easy. But if you will allow me to, I would be honored to court you. Properly, that is. Yes? You will allow me? Thank you. Thank you. May I ask why you have suddenly backed away and are reaching into your bag? Why do you have a wrapped package that's stamped with your tailoring shop's emblem? It's for me. But why? It's for everything I've done for you and for this village. May I open it? Is this what I think it is? How did you know that green is my favorite color, Oh, you just assumed it was based on my love of plants. Well, you'd be right. This cloak is stunning. I've never owned something so dashing before. And now you say it's mine. I must be dreaming. Oh? You have a way to prove that I'm not dreaming. How so? Perhaps you're right. I could never imagine kisses that are this perfect. Thank you. I adore the cloak, your kisses, and everything that you are. My orchid. My heart belongs to you. Your heart belongs to me as well. Perhaps we should seal it with a kiss. I am glad that you agree.